Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Today is April 30th, and this is the April 2019 monthly call for the Tech Speakers Program. We're delighted you were able to tune in today. For everyone tuning in live, we, of course, have our roll call section in the meeting doc. If you need the link to the meeting notes document, that is available in the calendar invite. So please take a look at that and hop on over to the document. We'd love for you to add your name to the roll call section. Today's roll call section question is inspired by a quick conversation that happened in Telegram the other week. It is asking your first job ever. So for me personally, my first job ever was washing windows at a doctor's office, and also included the responsibility of eliminating lots of wasps and hornets that were making nests in the windows. So not exactly an ideal job for a 15-year-old. But we'd be delighted if you could add your name to that section and let us know about your first job. As always, we have our helpful links in the document. New and silent updates are in the section there. That contains a link to the event feedback form for 2019. And as a reminder, if you're tuning in live in the room, be sure to mute your microphone if you're not speaking. And let's kick it off. We'd like to start off today with our special guest. Our guest for this call is going to be Javi Hoffman, who's going to be talking a little bit about the Mozilla hacks and new ways that you can possibly contribute. A little bit of background on Javi Hoffman for those of you who may not be familiar. Javi Hoffman is one of the founders of the Tech Speakers Program. It was started in 2015. With Javi Hoffman and Dietrich having this idea of wouldn't it be great if we could empower our community to help spread the word about Mozilla and help enable them to travel to different events and get the word out and level up people in the community as well. So we are absolutely delighted to have Javi Hoffman join us today and speak with the tech speakers. So without further ado, I'll give the microphone over to Javi. And
Hey, okay. Hi, everybody. Wow, that was a really meaty introduction for what might be a slightly less meaty brief presentation. So since I stopped showing up at all the tech speaker things, I've been mostly focused on our content channels within the developer relations team. And I've been managing and editing Mozilla Hacks, our blog for web developers, since for about almost 5 years now, 4.5, 5 years. Mozilla Hacks itself, the blog, has been around for not quite 10 years. And we've been covering Mozilla's work on the open web during that time. The blog is targeted to web developers, designers, people who build things for the web, and people who follow the people who build things for the web. So our blog is read by tech journalists, by people following the industry, but mostly by people who are looking for pragmatic, new, fresh information about web things and how to be better everyday developers, designers, product builders, deciders, etc. So we welcome, there are hundreds of authors who have written posts for Mozilla Hacks. We welcome fresh, original, timely, well-written, web-focused content. We also cover some of the work of emerging technologies and the projects that are looking out a little further into the future at what the web might become. So posts about mixed reality and web of things and some of the new programming language and platform work that's being done in ET and across Mozilla. These are topics of interest to our readers. Hacks gets tens of thousands of unique users, visitors every week. So over the course of a year, we're touched by millions of web developers, not on the same scale as MDN, the MDN web docs site, but a nice companion to MDN with the most current information. So if you are currently writing about the work that you do in web design development, platform development, and you're interested in reaching maybe a larger audience than you are reaching now, let's talk about possibly writing a post for hacks. I've left some links on the document, so a few things we're not interested in is, top of the list, articles that have been published somewhere else before, whether it was yesterday or several months ago. We like to be first out with content. If you have a regular blog that you like to publish to and you also want to write for hacks, we would be happy to post your article and then go ahead and post it on your own channel so you have your record as well. That's not a problem. But we want to, we would love for hacks to have the biggest bang. We will help with promotion. The Moz Hacks Twitter account has over 90,000 followers, and our developer newsletter, where we like to feature hacks posts, has several 100,000 subscribers. So there's an opportunity here to get your work and your voice out in the world. I would recommend, if this is of interest to you, reach out to me by email or in Telegram. I'm Fresh Electrons in Telegram. I'm also, you can ping me directly in the Tech Speakers channel. I drop in there, and I have Telegram open while I'm at work. I would love to see a brief proposal, 100 words or less, of what you're thinking of writing about. We like hands-on, pragmatic writing. So another way to think about this opportunity is, if you're, many people will tell you that blog posts and tech talks are totally different beasts. They are not the same. But other people will point out to you that if you can write a blog post, it's very possible that you could write a talk around that blog post. And the reverse may also be true. If you have a narrative in the form of a tech talk, and it's a mixture of practical information and insights from your own experience, and maybe a solution to a problem that you think other people will have or have had, these sort of come together and could make an interesting blog post. So think about that. We're not, sort of one caveat, we're really not that interested in writing extensively about frameworks, because it sets up a sort of here today, gone tomorrow type content in some ways. And because we're taking the position that we're about the web and core web technologies. So take a look at the links I've included. If hacks isn't the perfect fit for you, maybe you're really focused on certain aspects of front-end development and you really want to get your name out there in Smashing Mag, I've included a link to their process for contribution. I've included a link to A List Apart, which is pretty high-end publication, although hacks is as well. So take a look at these things if writing is something that's been on your mind and you would like to extend the reach of your written voice. And if you have any questions about any of this and what it means to do editorial on a technical blog, these are all things I'm happy to chat with you about. Feel free to ping me. And I think that's what I've got for now. So if any questions come in, I'll be around on this call, so maybe we can go back if people have specific questions. Thanks for the opportunity, Mike.
Thank you for sharing that opportunity with the Tech Speakers, Javi. I took the liberty of adding 2 ways to reach out to you, Fresh Electrons on Telegram.
Yep. And for folks who have Slack contact, I'm there as well. And if you're still kind of scratching your heads, I thought of one other thing, which is I almost pushed this out today just to have a live post to show you, but it's really scheduled for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, we will have a post from a very active MDN contributor, a guy named Daniel Beck, who has been participating in MDN's browser compatibility project. And he's written a really nice, not too long, not too short, just right kind of post about his involvement with this project, how he got involved, what it's, what he's been working on it with it, and how that's evolved. And so, if nothing else, tune in tomorrow to the front page of hacks.mozilla.org. Check out that post. See if you have a story that maybe that's triggered by looking at Daniel's post, and get in touch with me if you do. Okay, this time for sure, done. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Javi. Now we're going to jump into updates from staff. During the last monthly call, one thing that we were hoping to be able to share with you that during this call here in April was the one-pager for Rust, which is basically a one-page document that outlines messaging guidelines and key points that you want to be sure to either touch on or avoid when discussing a given technology or topic. Of course, the topic here is the Rust language. So just to give everyone an update on that, we did reach out to the Rust team. They're very busy right now engaging with some events that they've been putting on and speaking at a conference or two. So our main contact on that team was unable to deliver by our deadline. We're very understanding of this. Sometimes different things, different priorities arise. So we're continuing to work on this, and we hope to be able to deliver that for you as soon as possible. Just know that we have not forgotten, and we're continuing to work to get that available for all the tech speakers. The next update you may have seen in your email already. It's about the Mozilla Contributors and Communities Survey. This was emailed out a little over a week ago, I believe. This is a totally optional survey. It's available for anyone that contributes or is part of the Mozilla community. Essentially, it's a joint effort from our participation systems and open innovations team to identify the different ways in which Mozilla community members and contributors get involved with various Mozilla projects and products. And it's a way of identifying how we can kind of expand and make things better as an organization. If you are interested in providing feedback on that, there are links available in the document. We have links in English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, French, and Arabic. There are 3 days remaining before that survey closes. So if you are interested in providing input on that, the time is running short. So be sure to check out those links and provide your input as soon as possible. Also, give you a quick update about our onboarding. There's, of course, everybody has graduated that's here on the call. We're delighted to welcome our new tech speakers, as always. The intake form has been absolutely great. We now have 100% completion across the board for new tech speakers, so everybody's now in the roster. We've been working very hard reaching out with individual tech speakers and getting NDAs, which are, of course, the non-disclosure agreements that we have tech speakers sign as they participate in the program. We're now at 75% completion on the non-disclosure agreements, so that's absolutely great. We're going to continue to poke and prod people that have not yet replied and try to get that number, push that northwards towards 100%. Our travel accounts have been going very well. We've already had a number of new tech speakers submit requests to speak and engage with developer-facing audiences. I do not think that we've had a single request that has not been approved as of yet. So feel free, don't be nervous. If you have something that you're interested, do submit that funding request, because we absolutely want to know about your talk and absolutely want to help you get to where you need to be. As a reminder, those travel accounts, which are a Gencia system we use for booking hotels and flights and things of that nature, those are created on an as-needed basis. So after your first travel or funding request is approved, we'll begin the process of creating that travel account for you. Also, a quick update on t-shirts. So we are currently in the process. We're reaching out to a couple of different vendors and getting samples for our t-shirts. We're doing something a little bit different this time. In the past, we've had all of our t-shirts, we've had all of our t-shirts delivered to the United States. This time we're going to mix it up and do half and half with Europe and the United States. So we're reaching out to new vendors, getting those samples, and we're placing those orders for those t-shirts. So do expect an update regarding the shipping of your t-shirt coming out here very shortly in the coming weeks. And yes, onboarding feedback survey closed on April 26th. We had a lot of participation from the new cohort of tech speakers, providing their input on how they felt that the onboarding went. We have a meeting later in this week to sit down as a team and pour through that data to identify things that we can improve on. Overall, the response has been great. We've definitely been able to notice a couple of pain points that new tech speakers went through, and things that we did well, things that we could have improved on. So we want to thank everyone for providing their input and feedback and comments. We are reading it, we are hearing it, and we are going to be using this to improve our process over time. So thank you so much for helping us to make that better. A couple of common questions I've been getting pings on from new tech speakers. One is about hotel stays. So it's absolutely possible to request accommodation support when you're traveling to give a talk or attend a conference for a workshop or delivering a speech. But just to let you know, we typically allow a maximum of 3 days because we feel that that is an adequate amount of time to arrive in a given location, get settled in, deliver your talk, and still enjoy the event without kind of extending too long and exhausting our accommodation budget with extended stays. So as you do travel to conferences for workshops and talks, we typically extend a maximum of 3 days of hotel accommodation. Of course, there are some times when special circumstances arise and we may adjust that. Perhaps you're giving a workshop or you're doing multiple activities at a given conference and it takes place over multiple days. So we are, of course, flexible, but as a general rule of thumb, I wanted to share that with this group. Another common question that we've been receiving is whether or not certain engagements belong on the tech speaker's activity calendar. So as a reminder there, typically the things that belong on the tech speaker activity calendar are talks, workshops, but also panel discussions. If you have another type of activity that you're engaging in and you're not sure whether it belongs on the activity calendar, feel free to reach out to us. Regarding your talks and workshops, a great question to ask yourself is whether or not it aligns with Mozilla. For example, if you're giving a talk on the benefits of Google and AMP, that may not belong on the Mozilla Tech Speakers activity calendar because we would not want to count that towards our overall impact about delivering our messages. So a great question you can ask yourself is, am I speaking about Mozilla, the open web, or Mozilla related technologies, or Mozilla aligned technologies or initiatives? It could be also about learning how to code. It can also be about diversity in tech. It could be about inclusion, accessibility, web compatibility. There's a huge range of topics. More information can be found in the Tech Speakers Guide. We have a whole list of topics that are very common for tech speakers to speak about, and it's a great first place to start if you're asking yourself whether or not your topic is applicable. And if you are still not sure after taking a look there, feel free to reach out to us on Telegram. Also, feel free to reach out to your fellow tech speakers and ask their opinion. These are people that have been working in the program a little bit longer than our new tech speakers have, and they're a wealth of information, and they're always happy to help. So never be afraid to reach out and ask your fellow tech speakers. That's what we're here for. As a reminder, when you do add events to the calendar, the format is name, activity. So name is, of course, your name. Activity is typically speaking or hosting a workshop. And then the two other pieces of information that are super important is the topic. The topic is what you're going to be speaking or delivering a workshop on. An example might be PWA. And then location. Location is just the country. That's super helpful information. It helps us when we do our weekly roundup and share internally with tech speakers activity levels. And an exciting update I want to be able to deliver is about the Tech Speakers meetups that'll be taking place in 2019. During this call today, we'll be revealing the locations for both September and November. Just before we do that, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jan-Yves, who's been working very hard setting up not only the structure and format for the meetups, but also arranging with hotels and the venue, and making sure everything is aligned in terms of food offerings, hotel, venue space, everything. So Jan-Yves, thank you so much for all of your help putting this event together. And now, so I'd like to share in September, Tech speakers will be traveling to Amsterdam. And in November, we'll be hosting a Tech Speakers meetup in Singapore. And an important takeaway from this is we'll be having 2 events this year as opposed to 1. As the program continues to grow, it becomes a little bit more challenging to serve the number of people we'll be including this year at just 1 event. It gets a little bit crowded, a little bit confusing, so we've decided to host 2 events. This will allow us to do a couple of different things. It'll allow us to do more hands-on, one-to-one work with tech speakers, so expect better training, better feedback, and more one-on-one time with individuals. Also, it allows us to save a lot of money on travel. Unfortunately, tech speakers will not be able to select which location they're going to. It'll be largely geographic based. So if you're a tech speaker located in Europe, you'll most likely be going to the Amsterdam. If you're a tech speaker located in Asia, you'll most likely be going to Singapore. And if you're a tech speaker that's located somewhere that's right in the middle of the 2, we'll try to do some randomization just to do a little bit of diversity and a mixed bag of things. So we'll, of course, be sharing updates, and the months are pretty much solidified now. We're still finalizing the actual dates of each event, as well as the official venue. We're working out our venue contracts right now and hotels, so we're looking forward to be sharing those updates with you as well. A couple of things you can expect. You can certainly expect that we'll be doing hands-on workshops for all the tech speakers. We'll also be giving feedback on your talks. So we'll be expecting tech speakers to present and doing individual-based feedback on that. So lots of exciting things that we're planning, including a couple of really fun surprises. So we do look forward to being able to share more information about those tech speaker meetups here in the very near future. All right, and next up, Yanis will be sharing with us a couple of updates from his end. Yanis?
Yes, hello everybody. I would like to speak a little bit about our call for proposal calendar. This is not something new first. The call for proposal calendar exists for several years. It has been mostly and quite a lot maintained by Javi and Flaky, and I want first to thank both of them for the amazing work they have done there. So the call for proposal calendar has a specific goal, that is to help all the tech speakers to find venue and opportunity to speak. And one problem that arises sometimes is, oh, this is a nice conference. Oh, okay, I learned about this conference too late and I miss the deadline to submit my proposal and my talk. So to prevent this, we have this call for proposal calendar. So the call for proposal calendar can appear in a Google Calendar or another calendar tools. And at the top of it, for each day, you have, in fact, the list of deadline for call for proposal on this day. So it's not the date of the event, it's the date of the limit of the deadline for submitting a call for proposal. So here, for example, under today, we have 5 events that have the limit for the call for proposal. And one of them is VelocityConf EU, which will happen in November in Germany. And in it, you will find a link to the call for proposal and sometimes more information like the website of the event, the code of conduct, Twitter account, and also some description. The call for proposal calendar is not used only as a calendar, but it's also used by Flaky in his tech speaker tools to have a nice list. So you have this link also inside the notes, where you can see not only the conferences and the deadline in the next few days, but also a little bit longer so that you can prepare in advance. Finally, the Twitter account, Mozilla Tech CFPs, is using this very same calendar to send notification once a day about events and call for proposals that are due. So you can also subscribe there. Over the years, we have noticed that this call for proposal calendar is very useful, but at the same time, as it is mostly fed by us, with a few exceptions, it's also a little bit limited by what we know. So what we would like is that everybody could help us maintain and extend this call for proposal calendar. So each time you hear about an event and with a call for proposal still open, and the event aligned a little bit with what we are doing, we would like you to submit it to the calendar. But as you notice, the format here is pretty complex and there is a lot of things to think about. So what we have done, we have created a very simple event form. So there's a dev event call for proposal form that is linked inside the nodes to where you can put a few information, and when you click submit, it comes to us. We make a cursory review because there is no limitation about who can use this form, and we want just to double check before that it's not spam, and then it's published inside the calendar. So the first thing that we will ask is just your email address, just so that we can reach out to you if there is a problem, or if we have a question, or if a link is broken and you may find a better one. Then, of course, we have a few information that are needed to know about the event. So the name of the event, eventually a short description up to 500 words. Usually what I do here is to copy and paste the description that is on the website, sometimes cutting it, making it a little bit shorter. Then the city of the event and the country of the event, let's make it important so that we know, people know where it is. And also we add automatically a small flag so that it's easy to recognize it. The date of the event, when it starts, when it ends, or if it is a one-day event, you just put the same date, link to the website, if there is one, a Twitter handle, so we can follow the event, and a link to the code of conduct. This is very important because we want events with code of conduct. If you don't have one, even if it is a mandatory field, you don't need to put an HTTP address. You can put there is none for the moment, and people know about it already in advance. So if you request forms from us, you will need a code of conduct there, and you can already ask in advance the organizer. Then there is the beginning of the call for proposals. In some case, it's in the future. This is not a mandatory field, of course. And when the call for proposal close, which is the most important element, and the link to the proposal. You can add a few more info. This is for us, it's not published, but that's allow you to describe an event very quickly without having to think about the actual format we are using in the call for proposal calendar, but not forgetting important information. When you click submit, I get a notification. Some of us get a notification, and usually in 1 or 2 days, we add it. If it is an event that finish, call for proposals that finish the next day, for example, just ping me so that I can review it quicker. So I hope to have many more entries in this call for proposal calendar. In the future, especially, I would like to see more events in different geographic areas in Europe and the US, where most of the staff people are based. So I'm really hoping that in your area, you will discover and uncover to us new events, and so have added some more diversity inside the potential events that we have. So thank you in advance for your help, and I hope to see you to see a lot of requests to add things to this calendar in the next few weeks.
Great. Thank you so much, Jean-Yves. We very much look forward to, as you said, getting some diversity and hopefully some input from different perspectives and different tech speakers. So thank you for helping to put this together. Just a quick update. Flocky is attending a talk in Berlin on WASI currently, so he is unable to join us today. But next up, we'll be hearing from Jessica Rose, who'd like to share about some upcoming openings here at Mozilla.
Hey everybody, I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of an early heads up. So tech speakers have got a lot of really fantastic skills that leave you really well qualified to do some fantastic, interesting things out in the world. And we found many former tech speakers and many current tech speakers have decided to go into developer evangelism or developer advocacy. We haven't posted any job listings yet, but we are expecting to see 2, maybe 3 roles become available for developer advocates here at Mozilla. We wanted to let you all know first. We're expecting to see one of those as a rather senior role, but one of them might be a better fit for somebody who might be starting out or might be just a year or 2 into working with advocacy. We don't have those available yet, but as soon as those go live on our site, we'll go ahead and share them with you through Telegram and possibly go ahead and share them via email. If you have any questions at all, ask the @TechSpeakers email list, and we'll see if we can get those sorted for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Jess. Up next is the section of the call we typically have where we hear updates from our tech speakers. So on the agenda today, we have Azan, who will be updating us on productivity for software engineers. Azan, are you with us?
Yes, hey everyone.
Hey.
I'm really happy to be back, and I'm super excited to hear from all of you and what's happening with the Tech Speakers program. I was just surprised to hear from Jess early about developer evangelism, because like since last summer, I joined a tech startup based in San Francisco as a role in developer evangelism. I do a little bit of marketing and software engineering. Emily is a tech startup based in San Francisco. We want to help software engineers become more productive by providing them with a unified searchable interface across their apps with unified feed of notification. We are doing a lot of research to increase productivity for software engineers. For example, we are relying on the Pomodoro technique in order to fight the side effect of notifications, and we're doing a lot of interesting stuff. If you're interested, I can get you on a quick demo to see how this can help you become more productive, and I'm really super excited to write more about this and developer advocacy within Mozilla Hacks in the future. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much. Would it be okay for you to provide your, since you're not on Telegram as often as some of the other tech speakers, would you provide your email address in the notes? That way somebody who is interested in the demo can reach out to you directly?
Sure. You can reach out to me via my email at azan@vivimli.com. It's my name the way it is, AZZEN@vimli.com, and we can schedule some demos, and yeah, I would be happy to help.
Sounds perfect. Thank you so much, Azan.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, and we also had a couple of other updates. We had an update from Dewanshi as well as an update from Fabienne. Unfortunately, life is a very fluid situation and things have popped up, and they were forced to cancel at the last moment. We had a family function conflict and a family illness come into play, but these things happen, and we look forward to hearing from Dewanshi and Fabienne on a later tech speaker call. With that note, we'll take a look at our questions section, which appears to have no questions, which is a good sign. Hopefully we're able to address everything. So on that note, we'll go ahead and end the call early. As a quick reminder, if you do think of a question that you'd like to have addressed, feel free to reach out to us on Telegram. We're also available at ts-staff@mozilla.com. And we have an anonymous goose hopping into the Q&A section.
A goose.
Let's see what happens. Silly goose. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. We'll go ahead and adjourn the call a little bit early. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing from everybody real soon and seeing you in the near future. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.